So yeah,
because we're wasting space.
Like me. So.
Dear Diary, they're trying to kill me. Anxiety, they're trying to kill me. Feeling like I really might die. Feeling like I really might die. Feeling like why even try? Feeling like I already died. Feeling like talk to me. So awkwardly. Now sharpen me.
Boom. Woo. Welcome back to LHRPG. You see, we got Greenie with us today, but no Tank and no Doyen.
He tried to do the whoop whoop and he fell flat. He was like, woo.
He's sad that Tank and Doyen aren't here.
He's very sad that Tank and Doyen aren't here. We miss you guys.
Before we get into this, we're going to go ahead and do our shout-outs. Big ass shout-out to Humble Among. He is actually going live right now. Not by the time you watch this, but by the time of filming. So, good luck on the stream, homie. Y'all go fucking check him out. Humble Among Broadcast System, I believe tonight is 105.
Yep. Shout out to Ouija Mac.
Ouija, ICP. Big shout out to Mike fucking Pondsmith and everyone at Artel Sorian for providing the game we played today. Because in a shocking turn of events,
it wasn't ripped off from Brennan.
We did not play Fantasy High today. What did we play?
We played Cyberpunk.
This was you guys' first go-round at Cyberpunk.
I've been playing with you for, what, 5 years?
Was it?
First game I've ever played with
you.
Over there.
That, holy shit, that was.
And I've got the video evidence to prove how long ago it was.
That shitty ass video
like
that
10
don't
minutes
show
long.
anything. 10 minutes of people just waiting for me to come back. Anyway, we tried our hands at Cyberpunk Red today.
And all the music, the first time I ever played it.
So what did we think of the system?
I liked it. It's gonna take some getting used to. I miss D&D's hit point rules.
What, getting more hit points?
Having more hit points, recovering them quicker, not losing as much with one hit.
You're supposed to be a normal person in a realistic world.
A normal person with robot body parts.
In the future, that could be very possible. They're actually working on shit like that now. People have robotic body parts right now.
Fair, but they don't have the shit that we have in Cyberpunk.
Yeah, it's also, that's 25 years in the future. Who knows what the fuck we're gonna have? It's also an alternate universe, an alternate timeline.
Hey, maybe magic will come back.
No. I, for one, enjoy the realistic, gritty combat rules of Cyberpunk.
Don't get me wrong, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
It makes
like
combat something you actually have to play smart.
Right. It's going to take some getting used to. Because in D&D, combat's like, okay, what order can I do my stuff in to be the coolest motherfucker here? And with Cyberpunk, it's more of, okay, this is going to be cool, but this will be cool and help me live.
It's more strategy than anything.
I'll put it this way. Every single fucking chart on that GM screen is about combat. Every single one.
I think this is the most combats we've had in a single session in a while, if ever.
Fun fact, only one of those attacks was supposed to happen. All four of them are listed. You pick one, and that's the finale. That's where it ends.
But you gave us all of them?
I gave you 3 out of the 4 to make it last a full 6 hours. Otherwise, we would have been done in 3 hours.
Oh,
2-3 hours. So I pulled 3 out of the 5. out of the 4. Give me the world book.
Our poor characters they were like, oh, come on, again? It was all in one day.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't even stretch it out over a couple of days. It was one fucking day, and most of it was just before noon.
That's a screen.
Oh, the starter kit one?
Yep.
And who the hell collects rent on a Saturday?
You.
Apparently.
So, we played Cyberpunk Red, the apartment from the rule book, the world book, and the... this is the rule book. This ain't even the right book. Guys, they're both from the Jumpstart Kit. But he grabbed the rule book and not the world book. No. It says Jumpstart Kit on it, but it says World Book at the bottom, and there's some tabs sticking out the side.
WORLD, not RULE.
It's not in that stack for something. Look by my binder. Yeah. See it? Here we go. Take that. Here's the right one. We ran a scenario called The Apartment today. Right here. You can't see it because of the fucking lights. You can see here it says stop before you get right to the scenario.
Wow.
But basically, they have to defend an apartment building that they live in from some government hoax. Before we get too far into the game diary portion of our episode, big shout out to the rest of LHR. Let's go ahead and we'll name the players we had. There was you, Greenie, Tank, Dorian, Nexus was here. Nexus was here. You
We
guys
actually had Nexus in the building.
Oh, he made it great.
Oh,
and then my son played.
That tag team we did, though.
Epic. We'll get there. So,
fuck it.
Go ahead and peep that, and then you can die and start us off on our recap. At the start of the recap.
Okay.
So how did we start this? First off, let's give a breakdown of characters. So I'll get to you guys in a sec. My son was playing a cop. The only Night City officer willing to work in the combat zone. Anyways, so he played a Night City police officer. The apartment building's on the edge of the combat zone, so no cops will respond there. But he lives in the apartment building, so he can call for backup. It's his role ability, so we can get cops. That's good.
For the first time ever.
He played Death Hunter. I think we just called him Death for short.
I called him Mr. Death.
Yeah. Then Nexus was playing a tech named Sparky.
Yeah, a fucking snarky Sparky.
That's a hashtag. Put it up in the...
Hashtag snarky Sparky.
Yeah.
Get in the comments.
So, down from that, we had Dorian was playing a nomad named Deadeye.
Mm-hmm.
Tank played a med tech named Tank. He's very unoriginal with naming.
He names almost all his characters as names and nicknames.
I can't forget it. He gets an inspiration when we get back to Fantasy High. He brought me this.
I'll write it down.
And Greenie, who did you play?
A Pixar.
And what was your name?
Low.
And Jay?
I played a solo man named Legal or Handle?
Just Handles.
Okay. Well, his handle was the Center Man, but those around him, like in his circle, know him as Sin.
So just a quick breakdown in case you guys aren't familiar with Cyberpunk Red. It's the 3rd edition of Cyberpunk. I think it originally came out in like the late 80s. Cyberpunk 2020 is the 2nd edition. It came out in 1990. So Cyberpunk Red was just released as the 3rd edition. It was just released a few years, I think like 2020 or 2021 is when it released.
I think it was 2020 because their other one was Cyberpunk 20.
Yeah. So I think they released Red during 2020.
To make up for it.
Yeah. So, quick breakdown for those that are not familiar with Cyberpunk. The role they have, instead of classes like in D&D, they have roles. Okay, and I'm going to do my best to explain them. At least what we had in the party.
Do you want to go character by character?
Nope, I'm going down this list.
Okay.
So we got the Nomad. Nomad is like your Mad Max types. They're your wanderers, your car people, your drug smugglers, shit like that. The Med Tech, you can pretty much guess what that is.
Like a field medic.
They're like a medic that works with people in cyberware and stuff like that. Fixers are like your connections people. They can get shit. They can get drugs, weapons, jobs, vehicles, whatever you need. Solos are like your barbarians, your bodyguards, your mercenaries.
Hitman for hire.
The lawman, he's cop, fed, agent, shit like that. And then your tech is like your mechanics, or they work on, they tinker shit, they fix shit, like your artificers in D&D.
Can we just discuss? Nitro made our characters with us one at a time. He likes doing the one-on-one character creation with the players because that gives him a sense of the character that we're building, how we're going to play them, and how they're going to tie into the world.
And it also helps you guys understand the rules a little better when I'm there to explain it.
So, me and Greenie had never played Cyberpunk before. So, I think we were like one of the first two he made character sheets with. And I picked Solo. I was going to pick a Netrunner, but Tink had already picked that for the next time we play Cyberpunk because we're using the same characters.
In all fairness, when she picked it, we all thought she would be playing that session.
Yeah, we thought she would be playing this session. So as soon as she picked it, while talking over me, she got it. So I was like, okay, well, let's run through these. And I went with Solo. Doyen got so pissed because apparently he always plays a Solo, and I stole it.
Hey, you know what he told me on the way to the car when I was taking him home? I think I like the Nomad better. I can do more stuff. I was like, yeah, more than just shoot things. One more mention before we go any further.
See, now you're psycho.
I'm the only motherfucker repping.
Blame him. Not him. Him. Yeah. Someone decided it'd be a good idea to wring our shirts through the kitchen sink
hours before the game.
So by the time, and then tried to dry them in the oven. Did I tell you that part?
No.
He opened the oven and hung my shirt over the door so where the heat would hit it, thinking it would dry it.
I've done it before and it dried.
How long did it take?
Not very long. But I didn't drench it like I did.
It was fucking bad. He's like, I'm like, we have to go. He's like, okay, we'll see if your shirt's dry at least, so you can wear yours. And I picked it up. I said, nope, it's scalding hot and very wet. So instead, we repped Nightmare on Elm Street because we had these matching t-shirts.
Recap.
We kind of started off as the landlord basically coming to all the doors and collecting the rent. And then after she got the rent, she went to her office, or his office, my bad. And he was counting his money. And
well, going to all the doors was kind of important because that's how we met all of our players and all the important NPCs.
Well, how about this? We'll let you give a quick rundown so you can get in what details might be needed for later scenes.
Yeah.
And then we'll jump back.
Okay, so the first one we went to was actually Greenie.
Yep.
Because your apartment was right next door to mine. And I gotta put in the Easter egg that Sin has a very specific knock.
However, you did not develop that knock until 3 apartments in.
Actually, I started with the first one.
No, you did not.
Did I not?
Yes, she did. She started on my door because
I heard, and that was it for the first 2 knocks.
Because everyone kept talking over me, going.
That's not a. Every person in media with a special knock has that exact same knock.
Well, that's why I didn't say it was unique. I said it was an Easter egg.
You said a very specific knock.
Yeah, you
said
did.
a specific Easter egg.
To what? Every knock in media?
Yes.
Very unoriginal.
This is how we go viral.
We go viral
Just get in
by
the
being
comments
lame and
and
unoriginal.
Get in the comments and see who's right.
Did she steal every knock ever?
I am going to back up to where I first said it was an Easter egg as soon as you said that I didn't. That way I can show it.
I didn't say you didn't say it was an Easter egg. I said you said it was a Pacific knock.
I think I actually said the word specific.
Shut the fuck up, or I will put this out on your Jew nose.
I don't. If I have a Jew nose, you have a Jew nose. We have the same nose.
I know. I always acknowledge my Jew nose. You're the one that's ashamed of yours.
Do you acknowledge your unibrow?
No.
Hey, that's very rude.
It is. It's offensive. She's body shaming.
Body shaming, yeah, with my lard rolls.
Anyway.
I'm gonna cut all that out. So yeah,
Because we're
so
wasting space.
like me. So you can't steal Stripe's thing.
I just did.
That's the beginning clip for the video.
How about...
Alright, so. Come on.
So Sin knocks on what's your name?
Low.
Lowe's door.
He's not high. He's low.
What was
She got Sin knocks on. What was your character's name?
Low.
I almost called him Tank.
His name was Dai Long.
You know why my name is Low? Because I get low on that stuff.
That makes no sense. You're wasting money
Right?
if you're staying low.
I almost called him Tank.
Okay, let's get
Shout
back
out to
subject.
Strife.
Yes. Okay, so Sin knocks on Lowe's door, and how did Lowe respond?
I went up to the door and I went to open up and said, who the... oh.
As soon as he seen it was the landlord, he was like, "Oh."
I think almost everyone whose door you knocked on either tried to hide or did some iteration of, "Oh shit."
That was a very popular
Except
phrase.
for the cop. He answered the door.
Yeah, the cop was very forthcoming.
Oh yeah, but so Sin's like, "Hey, it's rent day. I've got to pick up the rent." I don't think you had any problem handing over your full rent amount.
No.
I handed it to you and I said, there you go. And you went on your way and I shut the door.
And I went to the next apartment, which was Sparky.
Was it Sparky?
It was Sparky.
I didn't pick...
Yeah.
No, Sparky's apartment was up here.
Yes.
The next one down.
No, I went down the line. It was me, Low,
You went
Sparky.
this way, then back up. It was not
Yes,
Sparky.
it was.
I'm telling
your
you,
house,
his mini
my
was in
house.
that fucking apartment. You went down that row
You went like
first.
this and then you went up.
Do you know how I remember?
Because you're wrong.
No, because
Next to Greenie
Was,
were you were in the corner, right?
I was in this
And then
first one.
Greenie, and then I believe that next one was Gina.
Yep. It was.
Yeah. Who the fuck made the world? Who ran the
She was
game?
across the hall. And the next to last one going that way.
This is her house. This is mine.
It was one of. Then it was Rico. It was one of the fucking NPCs.
This dude, actually, this one was the last one. Because I remember my friend was that one. And Jack, she is right.
Fuck!
She's right.
Thank you!
All around me are familiar faces.
I knew I was not crazy!
You are
Right.
crazy. Shut up. You're crazy too.
I do remember that.
What's that music we put? On the brain?
Around me.
No. Yeah.
Faces.
Okay. When I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong.
Oh my god, I thought I was going
You're a
crazy.
fucking idiot, Nitro. What's wrong with you? Anyway, sorry. Sparky was next. You were right. Doesn't that just make you feel good?
It does. I needed that today. That makes me feel better.
I was ready to cough my lungs up.
Okay, so
And you
Sparky.
ain't even smart.
We'll cut all that out.
Oh no, I keep the part in there where you said I was wrong and the part where you admitted I was fucking right.
No, he did.
Oh.
Sparky! How'd that go?
Well, Sin knocks on the door, and Sparky doesn't say anything. So, Sin puts his ear to the door to listen, because he knows that about
Oh my god, yes, this was great.
And Sparky's trying so hard not to move a muscle or make a peep.
And then because of that, he tensed up. She heard his silent wet fart. Not silent.
Sin's like, dude,
quiet.
I know you're in there. No, I'm not.
I was waiting for you to be like, I can hear you shitting your pants. And you never said it.
No, the funniest part was, Sparky's like, no, I'm not. Who is it? Your landlord.
You know who it is. That's why you're hiding.
That is what I was like. You know who it is. That's why you're not opening the door. What do you want? You know what I want. That's why you're not opening the door.
I think Dorian kept slipping out like partial payments.
I'm gonna get to that one.
Okay.
I think I finally got him to open the door.
Yeah.
And
He gave you the money.
he gave me the rent money, and I was like, finally, thank you. Counted it, moved on.
Tank's the next one.
So Tank was next, and knocked on his door, and I think he looked through the peephole. Double check with Nitro when he gets back. I didn't have any problem getting the rent money out of him either. Moved on, and next one was Nitro's son, the lawman. We called him, his name was Death Hunter. Group called him Death. And I knocked on the door, and he opens the door in his uniform. Took my hood off. I'm like, hello, Mr. Death. You know, trying to be polite because he's a cop. The only cop that will come out there. And he said, he was like, oh, hi, you know. And he very cooperative. And instead of paying me the rent, he paid me his rent plus an extra $200. So I was like, all right, I'll put it on credit for next month. And then after him was Gina. And, Sin knocked on the door. And from the other side of the door, you hear squawk. She goes, shut the fuck up. And she opens the door, and she's like, oh, Sin, it's just you, because Gina is Sin's best friend. And she's got a lizard on her arm. And he looks in, and you can see this cat running around, there's a bird flying around, and they're all normal, regular animals, which is very uncommon in this world, because most of the animals in this world have either been mutated by radiation or enhanced with cybernetics, and, so it was very odd. So, Sin.
Oh, it's RPG coasters. So yeah, she's got like full-fledged fucking biological animals. Like a shit ton of them.
So Sin I keep wanting to say Bex. So Sin looks around, and he steps in and shuts the door, and he's like, the fuck is going on?
Some kind of petting zoo.
Right? And how was it she worded it?
She said, Biotechnica, the company that experiments on animals, I may or may not have broken in and stolen a bunch of them.
I think Sin's reaction was, what the fuck, Gina?
She was very heartfelt for those animals.
And she's like,
loving
look
on
at
an
these
animal.
poor little creatures, points down. Look, it's a fucking crocodile, a baby crocodile.
She's just loving on it.
Ah! And Sin's like, that's not a baby, that's a fucking swamp puppy. It's got razor sharp teeth, it's gonna eat you.
She's like, he's so loving.
You're fucking crazy.
The whole time she's petting it, it's just hissing.
Sin's like, keep the noise down. I don't want to have to hide this from anybody else. Takes the rent, moves on.
It was after Gina.
Dorian. And I was going to skip over Gina until you got back to talk about the animals. But I wanted you to be in here when we did Dorian's part, since we had touched on it earlier.
Yeah.
So, go to the Nomad's apartment, and he's got his grandmother living with him. He's given her Deadeye, and he's given her his bedroom. He's been sleeping on the couch. Landlord knows about this. Landlord's an understanding guy. Picture a big buff Japanese man with the voice of Christian Slater in Heathers.
Just Christian Slater in general. He never changes his voice.
Alright. Then knocks on the door, and you hear the grandmother hollering at Deadeye, calling him by his government name, and she's like, "Who's at the door?"
I loved Grammy.
Right.
She was fun.
Grandmama!
Grammy was fun to play.
I hate these chairs. So, I think he went and looked through the peephole.
Yeah.
And refused to answer the door. And
He pulled a Nexus. Only he didn't shit himself.
So Sin starts pounding on the door. And he's like, okay, I'll give you your rent. And he owed what, 800? 600. And he slid 300 under the door at first. And so Sin picks it up, counts it, bangs on the door again twice. So he slides out another 200.
Bangs again, he slides out 50.
Right? I'm like, do it, Dad! He's like, okay, slides under the rest. He's like, was that so freaking hard? I think at that point he did open the door.
Mm-hmm. To give you the last bit of the bill.
Yeah. And then I walked in to poke around and look around just because he had pissed me off. I was like,
Grammy was happy to see you.
I was like, is that so hard to do? Hi, Miss Lucy. Hi, darling. Sweetheart old lady. And then was Rico.
Rico is great.
The Rocka boy.
I love Rico. I was surprised he didn't get killed in that crossfire later on. In the lobby.
I probably cried.
So, wait,
yeah,
is he your
Rico's.
friend?
Yeah, he's Lowe's best friend.
So,
Lowe always gets free tickets to Rico shows.
Sin's getting some free VIP
Yeah, you're
passes.
getting some VIP passes, backstage passes.
So, Sin knocks on the door, he opens, he goes, oh shit, it's rent day.
Ain't he the one that has the thumbtack on the board?
Mm-hmm.
It was an envelope. No,
it was in his cookie jar.
Yeah, it was in
Dr. Carver had it in the envelope.
So, he gives Sin the rent. I think he gave him half the rent.
Yeah, he was running low. He offered you the VIP pass in exchange for the rest this month, and then he'll have a full rent next month.
Right.
Rico's the only white guy that I think can pull off dreadlocks, other than maybe Ouija. And Shaggy. Shaggy looked pretty badass with his dreads.
So, and no, he said that he'd get the other half after his show.
Yeah, that's right.
And then he offered the VIP passes. And Sin's like, tell you what, you get me those VIP passes and you're good till next month.
That's what it was.
And he's like, bet, deal. So that's where Sin went downstairs, second floor.
It was a great show, by the way.
I loved every minute of it. To the rest of the important NPCs. Which one was the first one?
What about what you saw on Rico's couch?
Oh my god. No, there was this full-on nude woman just sprawled out on his couch.
Just dead to the world.
It knocked plumb the fuck out. And Sin, the ever-gay gentleman, did I mention he doesn't trigger the gay door? Goes, thank you. So, who was the first NPC on the second floor?
I think Molly.
Yeah. Molly's got 5 other people?
It's 5 total. Her and 4 other. It's all they're
with,
former gang members that have reformed and have basically
stuck together.
They're in one apartment here in this building.
It's like when you choose
until they
family
can
based
get
on the
fully-
friends you
yeah,
make in life.
until they can afford to fully move out of the combat zone.
Right. So, you know, Molly opens the door, having completely forgot that it was even rent day. She's like,
She's struggling.
I don't have it. Can you give me, you know, a few days? And I tried to make Sin a very caring person. So, you know,
I think he was.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's a pretty good guy.
Knowing, you know, her situation and her struggle, and
And fucking Marco broke her favorite bowl.
well, that was as Sin was leaving. But he was like, you know what? I'll make you a deal.
Out of game, you know why he dropped that bowl? Because he was eyeing you.
That's great.
Remember when they said they caught him eyeballing you?
Yeah.
That's what made him drop the ball. He got distracted putting the dishes up.
Like, ooh. More on that later. So, you know, Sin's like, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a week if you can come up with.
Yeah, because remember, I think it was later on that Molly told me that she's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Gina told you.
Her rent, their rent was $300.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know, I'll give you a week to get me about $150. I'll cover the rest, and then we'll just worry about next month.
Yeah.
She was like, oh my God, thank you, you know. And then as he's walking away, you hear this big loud crash sound. Just, God damn it, Marco, my favorite fucking pool!
And then the door closes. It's great.
Loved it.
Who's after that?
Wasn't it the... Oh, you already done
Dr. Carver was after that.
I feel like it was somebody else. A guy.
Oh, yeah! It was Royal.
The first one to make the comment about Marco.
Yeah, Royal. The solo.
The other solo,
Yeah.
yeah. Basically, I had an arrangement with the solo that was living in my building, you know, like, hey, you know, watch out, the perimeter type. What was the exact details
About...
the arrangement I had with the other solo in the building?
Basically, he only had to pay half rent because he kept watch around the perimeter.
Speaking of, I need to have a conversation with him.
You do.
I'm gonna have Nexus put in that intercom system we were talking about.
Yeah.
Like, Royal Age, you come to my office right now. Anywho, more on that later. So, Royal opens up. Didn't he also forget it was rent day?
Uh-huh.
It's like, shit!
I think almost everyone
Yeah,
did.
I think the only one who did not stress about rent day or freak out
was
or
low.
was Low, Death Hunter,
Yeah.
and Doc Carter.
Yeah. Which he didn't remember either, but that was because he was in the middle of some shit. And
But
we'll
he
get to
already had the next 2
Yeah.
months lined up.
We'll-
Like,
we'll get
he
there.
wasn't stressing.
that. Oh no, he was on it.
Everybody
Doc
else was
is
trying to
on it.
stiff or, oh fuck, or I'm
gotta
not going to
find
answer
it.
the door.
Yeah. Doc was on that
Oh,
shit.
yeah. So, Royal, you know, gives the rent money, you know, and Royal was the first one to make the comment about Marco. And I don't know if Royal knew Sin was gay or if he was just telling him, like, yo, I think this dude likes you.
Yeah, that.
Oh, like, hey, warning, bro.
Pretty much.
Man to man.
But when he saw him eyeing you, it was a different time because he wasn't there when he dropped the
Right. So he was, and
So it's happened before.
Sin's very good about not realizing he's putting off masculine energy, and people don't realize he's gay, even though he thinks he's being perfectly
we had a scene.
obvious.
I think we had a scene where someone was like, "Wait, you're gay?"
When they all saw the tattoo, and
Yeah.
they were like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, "What?"
All right, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Oh, Nexus had fun with that information.
Nexus is the one that said it.
Oh yeah, it was.
He's like, oh, you got a tramp stamp? You're gay?
Yeah.
We'll get there. So,
New hashtag. We'll get there.
yes. You know, Sin's like, oh, thanks for letting me know, you know? Yeah, have talk.
What was he thinking on the inside? Hello.
The Sin and Royal, they exchange a few more pleasantries, and then Sin goes to the next apartment, that one was Dr. Carter.
Carver.
Carver. Knocks on the door, and from the door opens, you see the doctor standing there with blood all on his smock and shit. And in the background you hear, ah! And I'm like, this guy is, what's he called, a Ripper doctor?
A Ripper doc.
And basically he is the illegal doctor that's not licensed, but will still do your cyberware implants.
Hooked you up with a pretty cool eye.
Oh yeah.
That's what he was working on.
Yeah, you said that because Sin asked, and it was
That
like,
he had
you
just
patient?
scooped his eye out when you knocked.
And he's like, yeah, he's getting a cyber eye. He's a real puss about it or some shit like that. And Sin's like, oh, and hollers into the apartment. It's not that bad. He did mine. You're in good hands. And that's when he's like, it's okay.
You also had no anesthesia. It hurt like hell.
But I was mad. But he's like, it's rent day. I'm here to get the rent. He's like, oh shit, yeah. He goes over and he takes an envelope off his cork board, brings it to him, and instead of the $400 that he owes for rent, it's $800. And he goes, I'm going to be a little short next month, so I went ahead and covered it for the 2 months this month. So he's like, oh, okay, you didn't have to do that, but thanks, He's like, just so you know, anytime something like that's coming up, just talk to me. We'll work it out. He's like, okay. Do you think we could work something out with Sparky to get this place soundproofed? He's like, I'll talk to him. I don't think we ever actually got around to that.
No.
We still got to work on that.
Yeah.
Would have come in handy later.
So, you would talk to Doc,
Yep.
and I think you went to your office after that, right?
Yep,
You got the rest of
balance
the... We
books.
didn't go over everyone, but you got the rest of the rent. You went back to your office, and then I believe you got a phone call.
On my little cellular device.
How'd that go? Who was it?
I'm trying to remember.
It was Grammy.
Oh, it was Grammy. No.
Yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was, but that's not what I'm saying no about. That's not what happened first. What happened first was everybody came out to mingle, and Sparky actually came to my office.
Oh, yeah.
I had the door open, kind of a little open door policy, and I'm, doing my math and shit, and I start swearing in Japanese, and he goes, I can't understand that gibberish.
Didn't he say it in German, though?
No, the one that was speaking German was Doyen when I went to get the rent. Because he was
Wasn't
hollering
Doyen?
back through the door in German.
It was Tank.
No, it was Doyen.
Tank spoke Japanese.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And he was hollering back through the door in German, and every time I did,
That's right.
I would holler back in Japanese.
Yeah.
There's just two languages
That
going
the
head to
other
head,
does
and
not understand.
they don't know a word they're saying to each other. Very confusing conversation.
I would like to have somebody who understood both languages listening to that fucking exchange.
And translating.
Right?
They translate the German into Japanese and the Japanese into German. Alright, so in order to get the ball rolling, let's just only bring up important shit.
Oh, well, this was kind of important.
Okay, go ahead.
So, he comes up, he gives me a little shit, I give him a little shit back, and he's like, I got a proposition for you. I'm like, well, what's up? And he goes, well, I'm looking to shave a little off my rent. It's like, how? And he's like, security cameras are great and all, but they're really not going to keep anyone out. Anyone can pick a lock. But I could install some either keypads or biosensors or something that'll make this place more secure. And in exchange, we'll just take it off my rent. Which is a pretty good deal instead of, paying parts and labor and all that shit. So, Sin talks to him a little bit, and they make this arrangement that Sparky's going to put these keypads on every apartment door. Each individual tenant gets to assign their own code, but Sin gets the card to reset all of the pin codes, and he gets a master key card to every apartment in case of emergencies or evictions. So it's a pretty sweet setup.
Yeah.
And Sparky ended up not having to pay rent.
Don't forget about if someone tries to get into the place that is not allowed, they get
Shocked.
Yeah, if oh no, that was what he was gonna do with the biosensor.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah.
he ended up going with the keypad because with so many people having cyberware, it's very difficult to, do an eye retinal scan or a fingerprint.
Yeah. Shit like
I
that.
got my.
Cyber hands don't have prints.
Exactly.
Not only that, I
And a
have
retinal
two cyber
scan's
eyes.
not reliable with
You
cyber
have both
eyes.
cyber eyes? Yeah, so.
It wouldn't work with me.
Well, it would. It's just anyone that has that same brand of cyber eye could get into your shit.
Yeah, she can get in my house easy.
Yeah,
Did
we
you
probably
get
got
your
our
shit from
cyber eyes
Doc?
done at the same.
What?
You get your eyes from Doc, then totally.
Yeah,
I mean, I can get into your apartment anyways.
the weirdest thing is my cyber eyes are naturally red.
Right, but he'd be able to get into your apartment.
Exactly. That's the problem.
So,
Mine are naturally red. so I
Fun
have
fact,
contacts
he
that
played a
can see
flamboyant gay man who also had a crush on my character. Although he said he was going to play a flamboyant gay man.
He didn't.
He did
He
not
was-
play a very flamboyant
he
gay
didn't set
man.
off. You set off more gaydar than he did.
And that's bad.
Like, you didn't even know he was interested in guys until about halfway through the session when he went to his apartment to flirt with him.
And
When he
his,
was all
his
banged up.
flirting was, I brought you soup and juice. How do you
suck at
feel?
flirting.
He does.
I'm sorry, my guy doesn't
Hey.
know how to.
You know what? I liked the way you played it, though. I liked that. Okay, so.
Like that shy guy act.
Yeah,
He
so.
knows that he's gay and he knows how to do it. He's too shy to do it right now.
Especially with how you're built, you're probably like. He's
Big buff.
out of
motherfucker.
his league a little bit, you know?
Like, oh shit, I'm a prison escapee and that dude's the real deal.
Yeah, he's my bear. Okay, so what happened after that conversation in the office?
That's when I got the phone call from Grandmama Lucy.
And what did she have to say?
By this point, everyone had converged in the hallway except, a few NPCs. So everybody was kind of mixing and mingling. And, Granny Lucy calls me. I'm like, hey, Miss Lucy, what's up? She goes, there's hooligans outside spray painting. Seems like, all right, thanks, Miss Lucy. I'll get it taken care of. Okay, honey. So Sim's like, who wants to come help me deal with some graffiti artists? I love Dorian immediately. Me!
Yeah.
And me.
So did Death.
Here's the funny thing. You did it because you wanted to
Suck
flirt
up.
with Sin.
You wanted to look
Dorian
good
did
in
it
front of
because
Sam.
he wanted some action. Death did it because he's a cop and he wanted to stop the graffiti artists. And Tank did it,
Because he didn't want to be left alone.
yeah. And Sparky's like, nah, I got work to do. He don't give a fuck about being alone.
And I was kind of stupid to go out there without a mask.
The rest of us have either masks or nasal filters,
In
and he
case
opted for neither.
Anyone that's wondering, there is constant radiation going on around Night City that causes the sky to be a red color. And let's just say prolonged exposure to radiation is not good on the human body.
Thank God I wasn't out there very long. Kind of went out there for support, and then I kind
Now,
of.
like, you can walk around for like a few hours and be completely fine. Once you're, prolonged exposure. Like, if you go camping or something.
Fallout game I play? You know how those areas that you get like one rad at a time?
I know.
I can stand there for a while before I get radiation poisoning. But then once I get it, I'm sick as fuck and I've got to seek help. Same concept.
Some parts of the city are more deadly than others.
Same as in Fallout, there's certain areas of the wasteland that are more irradiated than others. There's some parts you'll walk through, you won't touch radiation. There's others you get 1 rad per second, and there's others you get 40 rads per second.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So you go outside, and who was tagging the wall?
Clowns.
It was the
It was a
the
clown
orange
gang.
guy?
The bozos. There's
Yeah.
3 of them.
And one of them had a water gun.
Did you like the water gun?
Fuck your water gun.
With acid.
Let me just point out the fact that the last time I encountered acid in one of Nitro's games was Fantasy High Season 1, when I was
Dumping children into it.
the one to say, hey, I know we just realized that we were killing kids halfway through this combat, but there's a whole cracked floor of acid over there. There's no bodies, no evidence.
Except for the video they got.
Yeah. Didn't know at the time. Nitro's reaction, that is no, because I was like stone-faced
Yeah.
too. He was like, you guys realize now that these are children. And everybody's like, oh fuck. And he's like, oh my god. And I'm like,
Dump them in the
there's
ass.
acid, we can just dump the bodies, there's no evidence.
What's
And
that?
he goes, what the fuck, sister?
That is fucking evil.
I'm like, I'm just saying.
You guys
Yeah,
were
it makes
dumping
sense. I
them.
became a devil.
We're not talking about that
I'll cut it out.
game. We're talking about this one.
Oh, I gotta make a blooper reel just.
We'll
this
get back to
video.
Fantasy High next episode.
Want it now?
Tough.
So,
You got Cyberpunk. You wanted Cyberpunk.
I know, but I really want Fantasy High, especially after that conversation the other night.
Okay, continue.
So,
You had a face down with the one with the water gun.
yeah, because, I was like, hey, what do y'all think you're doing out here, Well, what's it to you? I'm like, well, I'm the owner of this building. And the guy with the water gun gets all up in my face. He's like, so? And I failed the face-off roll. And I was like, I'm a pusher. And I had made the mistake of making a comment to Nitro out of character without holding up my out of character flag. And I was like, I mean, come on. I know it's a shitty roll, but in what universe would I be afraid of a water gun? And he goes, okay, as soon as you say that, like, why would I have said that in game? I literally said shitty roll.
That part you didn't say. You said the other part.
Kid, well, I keep wanting to call him Kid because he's smaller than me. But this guy, this clown guy, this bozo dude, squirts the water gun right next to my shoe, and turns out it's acid, and it starts corroding the ground. And I'm like, and this is when he's like, so are you going to push it? 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 Fuck it! So I flipped my cigarette butt in it and was like, cool. And about that time, Doyen's like, I'm going to help out here. So he pulled out his phone and pretended to call his gang and was like, hey, gang boys, I need some help up here. We got some hoodlums. And they're like, okay.
And that's when the cop come in from behind and intimidated one of them.
Yeah, Death, Mr. Death, come up and tap one of them's shoulder from behind. He
The
spun
blue-haired
around and got a good look at this cop in his full uniform going, boo. And this guy goes, I need to go back to jail. I can't go back to jail. so they leave.
So you guys got past that without a gunfight. That was impressive.
That was probably the first
Were you
one
expecting
got.
us to combat there?
I wasn't expecting it, but I wasn't
Unprepared for
yeah.
it?
I know how you guys are.
You know how Doyen is when people annoy him.
And Nexus. And my son. And Tank. The only ones I trust to keep their composure is you and Greenie.
And that's because Greenie don't really talk or anything.
The only other ones I trust to keep their composure weren't here.
Oh,
Tank
I
and
kinda-
Strife.
I kind of knew to stay back.
Strife half the time.
Unless
shit
they
about
insult
his
his
dad.
dad.
If you talk shit about Bill, he's gonna fuck you up.
The only reason why I kind of stand back is because I was like, alright, I want to see how this goes down. And then I'm going to start, getting into it.
He was irritated the other night. and made a comment about how we fucked up what he was trying to do with his character. And
He
we were
was
like,
trying
"How-"
to kill it.
I was like, okay, you cannot say we fucked up your character because we prevented our friend from killing himself. You have chosen to make a character in a group that is well known for protecting each other and tried to make the decision of self-sacrifice. You knew how it was gonna go. Tink goes, thank you!
I had warned him of that ahead of time. I'm like, first off, you know how many of your friends now have access to healing spells? Second off, you're dating a cleric. Your best friend has Revivify. I'm like, no, you're not going to be able to kill yourself like fucking Philip did.
Right? His characters are known for self-sacrifice. You will learn that.
Anyway, so, you guys dealt with the bozos.
Yep.
They, the leader called the other two off.
Mm-hmm.
The leader was like a mix of Ronald McDonald and Violent J. Did you actually look at the paint on those minis?
No, I did not get a chance.
Oh, where are they? Did I put them back in the case?
I think
you did.
Bring me the case. It's under my binder. Like, I made him a mixture of Ronald McDonald, or maybe not Ronald McDonald, maybe Pennywise. OG Tim Curry Pennywise.
Yeah.
And Violent J, the
Oh, that's
leader.
dope. Yes, you did, for sure.
Dope, right?
That is so dope. Look,
No, see that? That's the leader.
Yeah.
that is dope.
See if I can. Oh. There we go. It took me an hour and a half to do that because I had to keep going over the face because I kept fucking it up.
Right?
But, so that's what happened with the bozos, and then I believe someone spotted something on their way back inside.
As we were turning around, I think it was me and Doyen
Yeah.
seeing,
And you pointed it out to Greeny.
yeah, we seen some guy taking pictures of the building over by the front entrance with two Militech guards, one on each side of him. And so we, my first thought jumped to my escaped prisoner tenant. So I grabbed him by the shirt and I was like, go around the back and go home. He was like, you're crinkling my parents' shirt. And I'm like, I don't care. Do you want to stay out of prison?
I don't think he asked any questions after that.
No, he just
He
took off.
running.
And I
Didn't
think the
Yeah.
cop went behind him to make sure he got in okay.
Yeah.
And
The crooked cop who's a really super nice guy.
right?
I've never met a nice crooked cop.
So I kind of like stayed close to the wall to watch him, and Doyen got really smart. Because I tried to zoom in with my optic eye to see if I could make out any details, but because of the way his little tablet easel photograph thing was facing, couldn't make it.
Well, he's taking
see
pictures
anything.
with the camera mounted on his shoulder. The easel is where he was going through the building floor plans and connecting his pictures to it.
Right. So Doyen's like, okay, I got this. Batman grapple gun, go! And he pulled himself
I
onto
think
the
a 20
roof,
something on his stealth, and then like an 18 or 19 on the grapple check.
and he used the grapple gun to swing himself past them when they didn't see him, up onto the roof of the building behind them,
Across the street. From
so
their
he
building.
could see what the guy was doing.
I think he was using the scope on his gun to see. The
I think he
easel,
was.
yeah.
And then he texted Sin what was going on.
Which was
They were working for
WorldSat.
WorldSat,
So,
and they had plans
telecommunications
to demolish the building and put up a cell tower, I think it was.
Communications tower. It'll work for agents. It'll work for radio comms, internet.
And so since
It was a billion-euro venture.
yeah, so since okay, yeah,
That's why they're willing to pay you so much for the building.
text him back's like, all right, meet me at my office. And he sends a group text to the rest of the group, meet at my office.
Keep in mind, at this point, no one had contacted you from WorldSat about these plans.
That's why Sin was so on guard.
Yeah.
And he went around the back so they wouldn't see that he saw them. And he met everybody up at his office. And he's like, all right, here's what's going on. Here's how this is going to go down. I think he put Sparky in charge of the cameras at first. So he could watch the license plate on their Jeep and the license plate on the car the thugs had drove off in.
We forgot one super important shout out to the one person that helped at least me prepare for today more than anyone else. Big ass shout out to Seth Skorkowski, who, aside from me reading the books and getting some advice on YouTube, big shout out to the Cyberpunk group on YouTube, on Facebook. We can make that part. Big shout out to the Cyberpunk group on Facebook for helping me out. And then Seth Skorkowski, I cannot give enough credit. Like I said, other than just reading the shit and getting advice, that man, whether he knows it or not, single-handedly taught me the majority of what I know about this system. He single-handedly taught me how to play Call of Cthulhu. Like, this man is fucking epic. I must have watched his breakdown for the system and this scenario 12 times preparing for this fucking session.
Oh, wow. And it was a lot in this session.
Yeah.
Like, back to back, man.
So, he helped me a lot. So, big shout out to Seth.
There we go.
Alright, back to it. I apologize. I forgot to do that earlier. Yo, you're on the air, bro. Alright, we got Nexus on the phone. We got to be real quick. Cameras are rolling. What's up? Awesome. Just shoot me a message when you make it so I know you made it safe. And give the wife and kids love for me. Oh, okay, cool. He's right down the road from his house already. Didn't he just leave like an hour ago? Holy shit, he's fast. Nexus made it all the way from Illinois to Arkansas in 1 hour, y'all.
It does not take him very long.
It doesn't.
He is determined.
It took him about 2 hours to get here this morning.
When he's ready to go home and go to bed for work, he is damn determined. I've seen him do it.
Well,
I've ridden with him.
Unfortunately, the speaker on my phone sucks, so they won't be able to hear you if I say anything. But would you like me to tell the folks watching anything about today's session in particular from your POV? Oh, about your calls and shit to people? Yeah, we're going to get there. It's part of the recap.
Tell him where we're at right now so he gets better.
Right now, we're talking about you guys just got the info on the WorldSat people out front. So that's where we're at so far. But as soon as we get this bitch edited and uploaded, we'll send you a link.
Whoop whoop!
Big shout out to Nexus, y'all.
Hell yeah, Nexus!
Alright, let it, bro.
My hands couldn't figure out what they wanted
For
to
those
do.
of you guys that don't know, Nexus is the co-founder of LHR. He started this shit with me back in 2014.
He's also our cousin. Can we
He's
just
like our big brother, let's be real.
had everyone meet up by my office?
Out in the lobby.
And, you know...
Which is not very big. It's like...
It's like a bathroom.
No, your office is. The lobby, it's about 6 meters this way and like... What is that? 50, 60 meters across? It's like a hallway almost.
It's kind of like if you watch a movie of like a Christmas movie, and everybody gets to the hotel at the same time, and they're all piling around the concierge
16
desk.
across. So 32 meters long, 10 meters wide.
Right. So everybody's there, and
Or not 10 meters. Fuck, 4 meters wide.
put Sparky on cameras because of his tech shit. I figured he would know how to zoom in and figure out license plate shit on the cameras and have a good eye on it. And I was giving everybody, rundown on what was going on. And they all got very worried. Everybody starts freaking out, and Sin's like, it's alright, we're going to figure this out, and starts giving everybody tasks. And I think I started with Granny.
Yeah. You gave her a simple one.
Yeah, because she was the first one to say, "But I live here." And I was like, "I know, hun, we all do. Don't worry, we're going to take care of it, but I have a special job for you." And she said,
I don't remember. What is it? I don't remember what she said.
That's what she said. She said, "What is it?" But I wanted you to do her voice.
Oh, no, I can't. Do you hear my voice right now? That's from playing a guy that got his eyeball scooped out.
And from laughing too hard.
Probably.
So she's like, "Oh, what is it?" And Sim's like, "I need you to go to everyone's apartment, tell them to stay inside, stay on lockdown, and then go stay in your home where you're safe." She goes, "I can definitely do that. It takes all."
Speaking of which, do you know how loudly you have to scream to convincingly play a man who just had his eyeball scooped out with no anesthesia?
I can't do it. I'm sorry.
It echoed in here. I'm pretty sure I saw my posters move.
I think the last time someone screamed that loudly just for a role play and it echoed in here like that was with Doyen during Fantasy High, one of these past sessions of this season.
He was under a fear effect, I think.
And you were like, "What do you do?" And he goes, "I scream." And you're like, "Okay,
yeah,
scream."
It was when he was on the van and he saw the figure.
Yeah, and he was like,
which y'all still don't know what that was about.
He's like, "What do you do?" And he goes, "I scream." And he goes, "All right, scream." Like, he made all of us jump because it was out of left field. It's not normal for him.
Yeah, he normally don't get that into character.
He's normally like, "Ah!" And he, like blood curdle screamed, and we were like, "Holy shit!"
So we'll try to do, like, a fucking social interaction, and instead of conversing with me, he'll tell me what he says to the NPC. So, in days like today, and then, and last time he was talking to Pac and Clean and all them, when he actually, in character, addresses the NPC, I'm like, my protege is growing up.
Hallelujah. That's because normally it'll be something like Nitro's like, "All right, so this is what you found. This is what they, he'll go through whatever their dialogue was, and like they present you with this. That's what,
yeah.
And then they present you with this and hands him like a handout or something, and he'll go, "Okay," or "I asked where they got this."
Yeah, something like that.
So I think what it is he's done this for so long now, and also with filming as well on top of it, he's coming more out of his shell, getting more comfortable in his roles, and having more fun with it, and I love that for him.
Yeah, I love it. Alright, where were we? This is going to be a long one.
So, Grammy went off, and Sim started trying to give people different tasks to help keep everyone calm, but also get some shit done.
Mm-hmm.
And the cop was like, "I'll help with the cameras." We were like, "Okay, well, you can stay on armed guard." And then we started to split off to do something. He goes, I really kind of wanted to go. So he and the med tech were like, "You know what? We'll switch, because then the med tech will be inside in case anyone gets past and gets in and hurts the residents, while the group that's going off to fight has the Ripper Doc with them in case they get torn up. Because he's not afraid to fucking sew you together while you're screaming."
It's kind of what he does.
Exactly.
He's got a medical staple gun.
Have you ever been stapled by one of those and not felt it but heard it?
I've never been stapled by one. I don't want to be.
Anywho.
I've heard them. It sounds like a staple gun.
It's so bad. Anyway, we're getting off this topic right now.
Yes.
So.
Magic mouth.
So, right as they're about to disperse, the landline payphone on the wall rings. And it's not normal because there's no service to those phones. Like, there's no reason for it to be ringing. It was kind of like, you know what it put me in the mind of? In the OG Nightmare on Elm Street, after Nancy ripped the cord and then her phone started ringing.
Yeah,
that's what went through my mind, and I was like, oh, but out loud, Sin was kind of like, seriously, can't do anything.
That's what
You
she
had a
did.
busy day.
That's
Right?
kind of what she did in the movie when it rings.
No, she was more like,
She was terrified when she answered.
because she
it.
had fucking fucked up the wires. There was no way it could be ringing. She yanked it out of the wall so hard the wires fucking broke. But instead of Sin answering it, Deadeye actually got to the
answered
phone
it.
first and answered it. It was like, hello? And what did the...
I'm not gonna say because you didn't hear that part. So what? You heard his end of the conversation.
Oh, you want me to just do his end of the conversation? Alright, so this is what Sin hears from Deadeye. Hello? Well, who's this? Who's asking? Oh, no, I'm not him. Okay, hang on. Sin! Sin's like, what the fuck? Hello?
Fuck, I don't remember what he said his name was, but it was the World Set representative. And basically, he goes, yeah, well, we're looking for a new place to build a communications tower, and we thought this would be a nice location. And we're willing to offer you 100,000 Eurobucks for the property.
And Sin's like...
Cash money.
Yeah. Seems like, I mean, like, that sounds like a nice price and all, but I've got people who, if this place goes down, they got nowhere to go, nowhere to live, and I'm not okay with
And
that.
I'm pretty sure he upped it twice.
He doubled it.
He doubled it once, went up to 200, and then the last offer he gave you was 500, and then that's when he told you to come look into the briefcase.
Yeah. And they showed the
To
brief,
prove that he had the money.
and they're like, all you gotta do is take this offer, And then this
He's like,
laser beam.
look out the window. We legit have the money right here. We'll show it to you. And then you looked out, and he waved, so you knew he wasn't. And he's like, And then what'd you see?
Laser beam, trying to shoot me, and Sin's like, whoa! Just barely misses getting shot, and then back over the phone goes, I don't know about you, but where I come from, this is not how you make a deal.
You remember what he said in response? Pity. And that's when the machine gun fire started.
Yeah. We got ambushed. All around.
You want to dump that for me real quick? Greatly appreciate
By
it.
a bunch of lowlives.
By a bunch of Militech agents
Um,
that WorldSat had hired.
and that was the first of many combats this game.
Yeah, you normally don't get nearly this many in one session.
Right.
Especially in the same day.
I don't remember what everyone did on all of their turns.
We don't have to go that far into detail. Just name, big, impressive, memorable things, and then move on. Because if we go into super detail on everything, we're going to be here.
Just tell them about the thing with you and
There was a Terminator in the hallway.
There was a Terminator in the hallway.
This guy was literally like one notch away from being cyber psycho, so we just called him the Terminator.
I'm pretty sure the only human part left of him was his brain.
All
Shawty,
the windows kept getting busted out because of the firefight. On one end of the building, we had a guy outside the window shooting fucking grenades, mini grenades in, and then on the other end, we had a guy just trying to shoot, and Tank got so mad at me. I was last in initiative, and from where my character had been standing when initiative started, the whole time everyone was taking their... From what I've learned in TTRPGs with turn-based combat is while everyone's doing their own thing, you pay attention to what how each person is attacking, but you also pay attention and notice where you are and line up what you're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
That way you're ready. So that's what I did when, everyone was trying to figure out what they were doing and taking their... I was like, okay, I have this many spaces I can move. I get 2 actions. I'm this far away, which means I can do my part of my move to get there. I can use this to do this. Okay, I know exactly what I'm going to do. While I have been formulating this, while everyone else has been going, Tank decides he's going to target this guy that is literally the only one close enough for me to actually get to an attack. And I was like, oh, cool, we'll double team the guy, take him out. We team up on a lot of enemies in this group. I didn't think nothing about it. He jumps out the window to attack him. Gets to my turn finally, my first turn. I took my full movement to get to the window, jump out of the window, and take a step over. I had a clear line of shot. I pulled out my SMG. I used my cyber optics, or my micro optics and my cyber eye, to zoom in up to his eye and blasted his brains out. And Tank got pissed. He's like, why would you do that? I'm like, because he was trying to kill us?
Right?
He goes, why wanted to kill him? How was I supposed to know that? It's not my fault I was last in initiative.
You know what that reminds me of? You ever see Lord of the Rings?
A long time ago with you.
Gimli and Legolas
Oh,
fighting over kill count.
Yeah.
That's what that reminds me of.
It was like, I was like, how was I supposed to know that you only wanted to kill one person, first of all? Second of all, it's not my fault I was last in initiative and this was the guy that I could actually get to attack. I took the shot I had. But I guess he got his just desserts though, because right after that, my rival sniper shot me from on top of another building in the spine. I'd like to know how he did it while I was facing him.
Because you turned for a split second.
And the weirdest thing is,
The table said he got you in the spine, so you turned for a split second.
The
I
weirdest thing
was
is,
paralyzed from the waist down for a hot while. And he was like, well, that's what you get for killing my guy. And then proceeded to help me.
So he did carry you back
He
inside.
drove me back into the window and into my office, and I couldn't fight the rest of the fucking combat.
but the weirdest thing is, we didn't even get to attack him because none of us knew besides you that he was up there.
Well, I'm not going to apologize for the fact that
Yeah,
things
you
were
still
moving very
you
quickly paced, and I couldn't have the chance to do anything.
You still never told anyone about him. To this day, they don't know who shot you.
And I have,
They probably think it was a loose bullet from the fucking firefighter.
but the
Probably.
weirdest thing is, my character is going to find out
What makes you say that?
because I'm gonna hunt to find out who it was.
He said, this isn't blood stuff. It is punishment.
Hey, when you're queer, you're family.
Oh my god, yes. Are we going to bring that over? He's going to find fucking Streamline, pull out a gun. When you're in your family!
Oh my
No,
goodness.
I'm gonna find him. I'm
It
gonna
was
stick the barrel in
so
his
my
butt and I'll
rival's
pull the
name
trigger.
is
He
Streamline.
might love that.
And
Oh yeah, he's bisexual.
that's
He's
what I was getting to.
bi-curious.
His name's Streamline, and when it first, I was like, I can't remember what the comment was made, but he was immediately like, no, Streamline's not gay. And I was like, okay. Later on in
Yeah,
the game,
but-
I'm looking at my character info.
It wasn't until after she started reading this shit off that I realized that I had already told her and made it canon that Streamline was her solo rival. And what did it say, sister?
It said, my one enemy was a former employer from a romance rivalry, and my two tragic love affairs, one was mysteriously vanished, the other was stolen by rival.
And I think I said
And my
they were
main
the same person, right?
thing, yeah. And my main thing that I was facing in my backstory was a rival solo. So all of it lined up to just him. And I was
That's
reading,
why I said it was Streamline.
right. And I was reading, I was like, Streamline is gay, actually. And he goes, no, he's not. And I was like, you want to read my shit?
And he's like,
So I read it off to him, and Nexus is just looking at me with this shitty grin, and I'm like, I cannot make this shit up. And I handed it to him, and he goes, yeah, he's gotta be gay. He goes, no, he's fucking bi.
So yeah, Streamline is bisexual in our game.
It's great.
Anyway,
He got the hots for them tattoos.
you guys get in, and then what started to happen round after round? Slowly. outside?
They started retreating. I think the retreat started because the dude
They lost
with the,
3 soldiers.
Well, the funny part is, in that same round, they lost 3 soldiers, but they started retreating right after Doyen's turn.
Mm-hmm.
And on Doyen's turn, he just fucking made the fucking grenade launching dude damn near shit himself.
That poor guy couldn't get away from shit. Every time he got to his turn, he was just trying to run away. And it finally ends with Doyen plowing his ass in his car. And you just hear his head go under the tire.
Zit, just
That poor fucking
guy, he tried to blow himself up
He didn't try.
The weirdest thing is, I missed my friend's freaking concert because.
No, you didn't. That
This
wasn't
all
until later that
happened
night.
before noon.
Oh, so we did
That last wave y'all guys got hit with was at like 3 p.m.
Yeah. So we still had the concert and the poker game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I forgot you did say that.
Mm-hmm.
You're right, my mom.
So
We did went to the concert, then we went to play poker.
Yeah, that all happened in the course of one day.
they all started
During some,
retreating.
like, hours.
So did
And
did I work for him?
Do you work for him?
I said, did I help him set up and stuff?
If you want to.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Cool. We'll say you did.
Oh yeah.
so
Okay.
they all started retreating, and Sin's in the office on the floor, paralyzed, watching the security cameras because that's all he can do, and sees them retreating. So I used my turn to call Deadeye, and I was like, "Hey, y'all, tell everybody else, let's retreat, let's heal up. They are retreating." And he goes, "I'm outside." I was like, "Well, can you see anybody?" He's like, "I see Sparky." He's like, "Okay, well, tell him to retreat and pass the message on for everyone to retreat."
Oh, this part
and he
was
goes like,
great.
Okay. Sparky, Sid said we need to retreat. They're retreating too. And Sparky goes,
Fuck
"No!"
you!
I said the same thing.
And he goes, I was like, "The fuck does he mean, fuck you?" And he goes, "I want to fight him. I whooped their ass."
The weirdest thing is, I was on the other side over here, and he was over here behind the car, so I could still hear it.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, yeah, me too. I'm not going in.
So I had to sit
I think
in
you
an
guys
office
didn't
floor
go in
while they
until the
finished that
last of
combat
them
until
had
they all
left.
left.
Yep.
And then after the last of them had retreated, they were like, "Fucking cowards." And then I got to get the bullet pried out of my spine.
But you got a nice pharmaceutical to make your nerves rewire.
Right.
They got some cool medicine in the future, don't they?
Right. Them chems
Hey, since
though.
I'm a fixer, can I get my hands all of like medicine and stuff, like drugs that help with like pain?
I mean, he can get resources.
Yeah. Pharmaceuticals. I got a whole table in the book for
I
it.
did not know that. So
Just
I
go
can
to
get
the
a,
clinic.
so I can get a hold of pretty much anything that I can think of that would be in the game.
Yeah, if it's in the book, probably.
Because you're a fixer.
Okay. I just can't basically make like cyberware.
Yeah,
and
you
stuff
can't
like
make
that.
shit. You can get shit. But you
Fixer
can't make
doesn't
shit.
mean like tinkering with stuff. Fixer means the type of fixer that
Yeah.
runs for like the mafia and stuff. Gets resources, gets people.
Pretty
You're the
much,
guy to
I'm the
call.
one that works. I kind of work under the table and like.
Like, you
kinda
ever watch a movie and they're like, how you gonna get that? And you're like, I know a guy.
You're
And
the
You're the guy.
I know the guy that knows the guy that knows the guy.
You are the guy.
Yeah.
You are
the
every
tinkerer
guy.
type guy is Nexus. He's the tech.
So I could be the one to get him the shit for him to fix other stuff, right?
Yeah, you could. I mean, he's got a hookup, but you could get him extra shit, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So,
Okay. Whoa.
so Sin goes back to his apartment to take a shower. Everybody's like taking a breath before reconvening. Nexus makes a phone call to his what's it called, important clientele.
His contact.
His contact.
His supplier.
And apparently part of their arrangement is they have people that patrol the building he lives in to make sure everything's safe. And he goes, "Hey, what the fuck happened about 10 minutes ago. And then
Cliff answered. He's like, what do you mean?
he's like, who is this? He goes, it's Sparky. He goes, oh, what happened? He goes, that's what I want to know. Because, if you guys got patrols, how the fuck are we getting ambushed out here?
He goes, I sent out those, one dudes.
The bozos.
He goes,
well, all they did was graffiti.
you talking about the clown guys? He's like, yeah. Yeah, all they did was graffiti our building.
And straight passing at my landman. He never called Sin the landlord.
It was the landman.
The landman.
He did that because out of game we all kept misgendering you. Because we're not used to you playing a man.
They kept going,
Yeah.
So in order to avoid it, he'd go, the landman.
Yeah. It's pretty
She owns
progressive.
the land, man.
And eventually, he just, after he found out that my character was gay, was like, well, the landman, she said this.
But, so he explains to Cliff everything that went down.
Yeah, and Cliff's like, we own that whole area.
Yeah.
So this shit should not be, no one's allowed to do anything like that without going through us.
Don't
Here's
forget, the officer told his people and also told that.
That was later.
That was later. So he's like, here's what we're going to do. We're going to send this one guy out there. What was his name?
They sent a couple of guys. Cliff came out, and he brought another guy.
No, I'm talking about the guy that they specifically said they were going to get in touch with to get shit done.
Rex.
Yeah.
He's a local fixer in the combat zone.
And they're like, we're going to get a hold of him, and we're going to get some guys out there. We're going to see what the fuck's going on. It's like, alright, well, make it fucking quick, dude. And as he gets off the phone,
And you get in the shower.
our phones shut off, our power shuts off, our alarms start going off, and the sprinkler system starts going off.
The indoor sprinklers that are made to put out fires.
It was a water pool.
So your building is being flooded.
Yeah, so Deadeye, the cop, Death Hunter, and Tank.
What up?
I love how we didn't even try his character's name.
He didn't try.
I know.
Tank. His character's name was Tank.
So they all go to the roof because, we're hearing like helicopter noises from the roof. So they go out to see, well, the cop went first and he cracked the door
No.
and yeah, I did.
No, he did not.
No, it
Tank
wasn't.
was first. And
No.
he didn't
No,
crack.
it was the
wasn't-
cop.
No, it wasn't. It
No,
was.
it was not. He
it
was
was,
in the back. I'm telling you. I had the marching order down.
I'm
It
not
was
talking about when they all three went. I'm talking about he went by himself, cracked the door.
You're right.
Thank you. This is the third time.
You want me to kick you off the panel?
All around me are familiar faces.
So
I said you were right. Take the win and shut the fuck up,
the
Mike.
cop goes to the door, cracks the door,
I'm
and
out
he
of
sees
coffee.
the helicopter come down and drop off this woman and fly away. But there's these two hover bikes with these Militech guards, I guess,
Yeah.
on them. And he's like, oh, and closes the door. Like, if he had been an adult, he would have been like, oh shit.
Yeah,
So-
Tank didn't do that. He just...
That's what I'm saying. Then he went back to go get help. He ran into Tank and Doyen. The three of them went together. Tank led the charge and
Yeah.
flung the fucking door open, which caused them to get
Peppered.
peppered with fucking bullets. And fucking Doyen's like, move!
Oh yeah, you're all right. It was.
So he's like, okay, and he steps back, and Doyen's like, boom, because he picked up the grenade launcher off the guy he killed. So while that's happening, the Cinnamon, Low, and Sparky, I almost said Snappy.
We're making a plan.
Make it snappy.
Making a plan to go down.
Snarky Sparky.
To
We're
go down to the maintenance place.
Yeah. We're not there yet. We didn't discuss how we got together.
Yeah.
They were all in their apartments. Sin got dressed from trying to take a shower.
Failing to take a shower.
Went and knocked on Lowe's door. And what was Lowe's reaction?
Again?
No, I think it was, who's there? Yeah, it was who's there.
The landlord!
And then I opened the door and I said,
The
oh.
landlord, he wants to bone.
I said, oh, sorry. I said, what's up?
I was like, we gotta go. Why? To figure out what's going on. But
You
why?
hear that?
Like, he just didn't want to leave his apartment. He goes, okay, well, you can sit in here and drown, or you can come help me fix shit. Okay. So then they went and knocked on Sparky's door, and, you know, they were like, alright, Sparky's like, get me down to the mainframe in the maintenance office, and I'll pull the plug, reboot the system. And so it's like, okay, gets a flashlight from Sparky, and they start heading that way because we've put together by now that it's a Netrunner has hacked our system. And Sparky's like, or Nexus is like, what happens if you unplug them?
See, Nexus knew because he had played before.
So we're believing that that's where, you know, the Netrunner would be, is closer to the mainframe. So
You were wrong. She was on the roof.
So as we're heading down there,
You have a
upstairs,
control mode on the roof.
they find out that the woman that just got dropped off is a Netrunner holding with her goggles and shit. So they devised a plan, and it was a pretty fucking good one. Tank threw a smoke bomb, clouded the area in smoke so that Death and Dead could tuck behind these little, they're like pillar things.
No, there were air conditioner dog things.
Air
AC
conditioner units. And
see, y'all would never have thought to do shit like this in D&D.
right?
Like, the combat is much more interesting, I think, in Cyberpunk.
And Tank ducked up under the platform up there.
Having a grid helps in
And
combat a lot.
And got in position to army crawl towards her. And because they could no longer see them, the military guards just started spraying bullets.
Suppressive fire.
Yeah. And what happened after that?
Death had a clear shot at the Netrunner and took it.
With his sniper rifle that he just got.
And really pissed off Tank. Again.
That was the second time Tank had locked his goal
And
on
got
one
a kill
person to
taken
kill,
away.
and one of us took it.
Third time too, because he was trying to go after the dude on the little hover thing.
Yeah, Dorian did that. Well, he killed one of those guys.
He did.
Tank did.
Yeah.
He blew one of them off the roof.
Yeah. They had so the three of them basically took them out, and Tank and the Death got the hover bikes. And as soon as they took the Netrunner out, all the shit went back to working normal. And by the time we got back to the area, they'd already fucking taken care of it. So we were like, okay. I'm like, I'm gonna go take my shower now, finally.
By the way, there's still water everywhere.
Right? All that damage to my building. It's gonna cost a fortune. Good thing I have a credit card now.
That's exactly what Sin sounds like when he's complaining about it.
Don't worry.
Only in that, like, I know you don't watch anime, but some of our viewers might. That anime
Like that
tone
inner
with
monologue.
that deep fucking.
だからこの場合、僕が何の情報も得ていないときに、新しく報道される犯罪者が死んでいけばいい。
What happened after your show? We had a few hours of downtime.
Yep. In which case, Sin finally got to try to rest.
Grew some balls, too.
Oh! So, when they were doing the surgery, after they got the bullet out and Tank was stitching Sin up, pulled, his back skin down, and they finally saw his big purple light up butterfly tramp stamp tattoo. And Nexus, or
Everyone was
Sparky,
surprised.
goes, Like, they were all like, huh? And
was like,
Sparky
nice
goes,
cat.
is that a tramp stamp? You're gay?
And my reaction was, nice cat.
And fucking Sin goes, you didn't know that already?
Look, I'm not in the closet.
By this point, 2 different people have pointed out that Marco has made goo-goo eyes on 2 separate occasions at Sin. And this guy has already pointed out his interest in
Out
getting
of
Sin.
character. He mentioned that out of character.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
What?
Your interest in her character.
Yeah.
so, romance rivalry going on. So anyway, so,
It's a love triangle.
love triangle. Okay. So, you know, they're all doing their own thing. Sparky's working on... No, Sparky was having the conversation with Molly.
Yeah.
He went to go see Molly. And they had
He got some
started
extra
talking.
IP
They
for
went up
that
to
scene.
the roof to finish talking. The cop, whenever they had
He was talking
initiated
with
the
the other
combat
cops.
on the roof, had called in backup, and
Yeah.
by the time they finished, it was when the cops arrived. Any fucking horror movie cliche. So he was talking to the cops.
In my defense, I told him when he contacted him they would show up in 2 rounds, and they wiped him out in 1.
Right.
So
So, you know, he went to get him to go talk to the cops, but by that point, Sparky's guys had shown up too. So they were already talking to the cops, so he'd come and join the group. And he mistook them
for the world sack
for the
guys.
World Sack guys. So the cops are like, oh, hey, you know, Death, what's going on? And he starts explaining to them and tells them that
These guys.
this is why I love my nephew. He's adorable, and he doesn't mean to be. He means to be super serious, but it's so great. He goes, these black guys are trying to destroy the building and build a radio station.
They were wearing black suits.
And all of us at the table had to try not to laugh.
Keep in mind, my son will be 11 tomorrow.
And it was so wholesome, like he was trying to be helpful, and it just came out so wrong. And we were like, he's doing a good job. We cannot correct this.
So the main Arasaka guy explains that they're not world sat, and asks what happened, and he's like, well, these guys were gonna blow up the building and build a radio station,
And
and
the guy's like, what? Where's your landlord? By this point, Sin has finished his shower, gotten dressed in his suit, you know, and is trying to rest and recover. Again, Lo shows up, and he's like,
after he grew some nuts,
he's like, I just want to rest. And he goes, I brought soup and juice. And he goes, okay, come on in. And I love the fact that your version of flirting for this character is, I brought soup and juice. How do you feel? Now let's sit in silence.
No, we sit there and shoot the crap for a little bit, and then we stopped.
So,
he was just staring at your man beauty.
right? So, you know, about the time Lo decides to head home, he goes to grab the knob and I'm sorry, what would have made it better is if you turned around and went, I swear it's not me this time.
That would have been great.
Right?
Alas, that did not happen.
Alas. So, Sin's kind of like, ugh, and opens the door and sees Death and one of the suit guys. He's like, can I help you? Hi, Mr. Death.
He says, my name is Cliff with Arasaka Industries. And this is our neighborhood.
Sin goes, oh, so you're the one I've been paying property taxes to. Nice to meet you.
You guys go in and you fill him in on everything.
He asked what's going on, and he's like, well, why don't you come in and have a cup of coffee, and I'll
It was
fill
great
you in.
coffee. Thank you, by the way.
You're welcome. So they come in, Lo's like, I'm gonna head out, let y'all do your managerial
You
stuff.
would have hit this one, put it up.
Huh?
You would have hit that one, put it up. You would have hit that one, put it up.
So, he leaves, they come in, they sit down, they start drinking coffee, and he runs through everything that happened, and he goes, "Really?"
Oh, Cliff was pissed. What'd he say?
I don't fucking
I don't remember word for word.
I think it was something along the lines of, it doesn't matter how much money they offer you. I don't care if you own the building. Nobody is allowed to do anything to any property in this area without going through me.
It's my property. Is what he
Yeah,
said.
they did not obtain a permit to operate here.
Yeah.
It was one of the, I remember it was one of the things he said.
And so, while they're trying to get all that figured out,
Yeah, you own the building, they own the land.
in that first comment, the Terminator killed a little girl.
Oh, yeah. How much did that piss you guys
I
off?
was trying to tell you that, but then
Let him tell it since he got skipped over. I'm so sorry, Greenie. Tell about the little girl.
the little girl ran out of the room and the dude just opened his fire and shot her and exploded her head all over the wall. I didn't see it, but I got told.
I seen it on the
R.I.P.
camera.
to the little girl.
What was her name?
Zelda.
Yeah.
Not Zelda!
Her name was Zelda. It's Zelda. I decided.
Well, the reason I brought it up is because they, were talking about, and that had got brought up to them, and he was like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm actually about to go check on, her parents," and they were going with him, I think.
They're the Millers.
Yeah, and they started to leave, and that's when, the fire truck started pulling up.
Hey,
Yeah.
don't forget, he gave you a check
for the
and
Miller
said, "Give this
family."
to the family."
Yeah, he gave him, Sin this very large amount worth check. He's like, "Give this to the parents."
And he said he'll deal with her.
And as they were walking out, fire truck start pulling up, blaring sirens, and you hear these firemen downstairs like, "Everybody out! There's a fire! Come on!" I'm like, "What the fuck now?" And honestly, because of what we had just been talking about, my mind immediately went to, "Oh my God, this mother's done torched her apartment out of grief and is killing herself via fire." So I booked it towards the stairs, trying to get down to check on my tenants. And when I got down there, everything was all smoky and everything. I have the nasal filters.
Mm-hmm.
So
You've detected a difference in the scent.
yeah, we had to do a perception check, anyone that was going down there.
Yeah.
And I had to do two. I had to
yeah.
do a regular one with the disadvantage that everyone had
For vision.
and one regular for scent because of my nasal filters, because I couldn't tell the difference. Because I could tell the difference.
Right.
And I was like, something's not right about this.
Yeah.
So I started looking around and I found a smoke bomb. I took my suit jacket off, wrapped it up, tossed it out the window, and I looked and I seen one of the firemen, and I used my micro optics to zoom in.
On his uniform.
And underneath his uniform, he had
He was wearing a fireman's uniform with a police officer badge.
yeah, which did not add up at all. So I was like, what the fuck? So the first two of our group that I ran into was Doyen, who had, after hearing fire, grabbed his grandmother on his back and was darting down the fucking stairs.
And me.
And Leo, who was coming down without a mask. And so we were like, okay, Leo, take Grammy outside.
Who was Leo?
Whoa.
Low, fuck. We were like, Low, take Grammy outside where you're out of the smoke. She's safe. You can keep an eye on her. You, Deadeye, follow those fucking firemen. They're up to no good. They're fakes. They're phonies. These are smoke bombs. I'm going to go get as many of these bombs as I can and get them the fuck out of this building before they hurt my tenants.
You didn't know they were actual bombs at this point.
Smoke bombs, and I didn't want them poisoning nobody. So that's what we, split up. Death Eye's like, here, tosses him the keys to his car so that he can sit in the car with his Grammy, keep her safe. Mm-hmm. And while he's sitting in there, he's like, hey, Grammy, you got a gas mask? By this point, though, what's awesome is Doyen had taken the machine gun off of the hover bike, one of the hover bikes, and attached it to his car. So Lo gets this gas mask from Granny, gives her the keys. So she's in this armored car all locked up with a fucking turret that she could control with a button. She's good.
Like Death Race style.
And he's like, I'm going into hell. This is my moment.
This is my moment in the sun. This is my moment.
Hey, it was pretty badass.
As I get halfway and I decide, oh, why should turn around and search the fire truck?
Oh no.
So I searched the.
You did that after we finished off the fireman.
Yeah, that was after the combat.
I think.
But I didn't make it to the building.
Yeah, he was trying to get in and find
halfway
us
up.
and help, and we finished them all off.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got halfway into the front door and I turned around and ended up going back to the fire truck because all the smoke it was clearing out. So I went back to the fire truck.
That's what I get for only bringing in 4 phony firemen.
So there were 4 phony firemen. Try saying that 5 times
I
fast.
should have brought like 8.
So, there were 4 phony firemen. Doyen sliced one's arm off during his attack.
The fucking ninja steel.
Tank, didn't he just like blow the dude's head off? Or what did he do to his?
Nah, he just filled him full of lead. Nexus blew the guy's head off.
Yeah, he pumped
You guys
tons
teamwork
of lead
that.
into him. The Death Hunter, the cop, was trying not to fight this dude. And
Oh
like,
my
the dude
God, he
kept
gave him
shooting
so
at him,
many
and he gave him like
chances.
3 chances. And he's like, I'm gonna give you one more chance. I'm
And the
gonna
guy
give you one more chance.
fires again.
And then at the last, I'm gonna give you one more chance. The dude goes to fire and his head explodes because another cop shot him from behind. He's like, I just watched him shoot at you like 2 or 3 times. He's not gonna work with you. And you poor boys over there like, oh. Doyen finished his guy off after he sliced his arm off and he was trying to get away. He pulls out his. I thought this was dope as shit. He pulls out his grapple gun.
That was this is probably like there's 2 main kills that happened today that were epic, and this is one of them.
Yeah. He shoots the grapple gun literally into this guy, pulls him back to him, and as the dude's trying to flail around and fight off, he ends up spinning around and impaling himself on Doyen's sword that he had ready. And it was fucking great. And then
the other epic kill was you and Nexus.
that's what I'm getting to now. I had been, tossing smoke bombs out, and I caught this one fireman placing one of them. So I went up, I tossed it out, and I snuck up behind him with my baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire, and went wham! And he immediately went and fell unconscious right onto the barrel of Nexus's shotgun, because Nexus was waiting on the roof for him, and Nexus went BAM!
It was great.
And fucking brains went on my face, and I was like, good teamwork, let's go.
It is time to go, Chosimba 1.
Right? It was epic. We were like, hey, team. We were looting the bodies, and Nexus goes, okay, so since we killed this guy together, how about I get guns, you get money? I'm like, I'm down, let's do this. So I got a credit card.
Didn't you get cash too?
Nah, I got the credit card.
Oh.
And he got an SMG, I think.
So, how do we feel about the game as a whole?
So far, so good. I'm
I
liking
like it. The only thing I didn't like is I didn't really get that much kills, but I played it smart. Is what I did, and I learned from my mistake of getting hit. And I was like, wait, I need to sit back.
Yeah, it's a lot better to not get hit than to try to hit. You know what I mean?
So I need to work on stealth kills and not just go
yeah,
out there and
stealth-
act like a fucking killing hobo.
That's
Right.
the first thing everyone learns, is not to be a murder hobo, to actually learn a strategy.
Especially in a skill-based game.
Yep.
One thing we haven't done yet.
Like, dislike, looking forward
We
to.
gotta do the wrap up.
Right.
You're first this time. Something you like, something you didn't like, and something you're looking forward to.
I like the setup of the game. The only thing I didn't like is I fucked up and didn't get an actual kill and almost died.
We all almost.
My son almost died.
A lot of us almost died.
Alright, and something you're looking forward to.
Next session and finding out what my work or places I work like run.
Yes, we will explore your night market next Cyberpunk session.
I run multiple. I think.
I don't know, we'll look.
I think
But
it's
we'll definitely be looking into at least one of them. You're up?
Something I liked was both of my kills. I was very proud of both of my kills. Something I didn't like was the sniper shot to the spine. That put me out for like 90% of that combat.
I thought
I
that was
didn't do
pretty dope though. He was up here on top of the roof,
Yeah.
and you were over here, and he's like, I thought that
Well,
was
the first
cool.
shot he fired hit me like right on the ground, right next to my
Full
foot.
disclosure, Streamline is the guy that trained you.
I can't use that.
That's metagame.
Actually, yeah,
you
I
can use
can.
that, yeah. You
Because
would
my
know.
character would know that. Would know
Remember
where to
it said
train.
employer? He's the guy that trained
So
you.
he wasn't just my employer, he was my mentor.
Yeah.
And then he took the man I love and made him disappear forever.
And that's
You now have a personal rival. How does it feel?
Hey, maybe that's
You have
what
a
he
nemesis! Finally! We make the nemesis work because Streamline got away!
Hey, but the
Yes!
But the weirdest thing.
I like for the session, the nemesis plan finally worked.
Hey, the weirdest thing is, her nemesis might be going after her actual person that loves her. He might be jealous.
No, I think at this point he's just wanting to fuck him up.
You know what would be funny though? Is if the next session, Streamline showed back up and one of the guys come up and capped him from behind and you went, "Fuck! You ruined it!"
If that happens, you're getting 17 penalties.
What is a joke? Something I'm looking forward to, right?
Uh-huh.
A not fight, but face off with Streamline.
Next session we do will be after we finish Fantasy High, and we will be running a night at the Opera from Tales of the Red.
And we'll actually have our netrunner that time.
Yes, we will have a net runner.
First job I have for her is putting up a very secret firewall at our building.
The thing is, we won't have we'll have our net runner, or we won't have Nexus
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I know we won't have the long
unless
man.
we run him as an NPC.
No, but if he can make it, I might go ahead and run 7 people so that he can play because his character has been established and he's had a lot of growth already. But my kid probably won't play that game. Anyway,
Next session's back to Fantasy High.
next episode we'll be back into our 2-part finale for Fantasy High. But so yeah, next week we will be back at Fantasy High from part 1 of the 2-part finale.
And Bex has something new.
So we hope you enjoyed our recap of our first official Cyberpunk game as a full group at a full table. Well, we didn't have 2 of our players, but we had 2 replacements, and one of them was an OG, so that was nice.
I just wish that he would have had time to film with us.
Yeah.
Maybe next time, Nexus.
Hopefully it'll be a Saturday next time.
Right?
So, until next time, we played Cyberpunk. Woo woo!
Went down that rabbit hole. Where'd that rabbit go? Say it ain't magic though. Why can't you grab it though? Hold on to the physical.
This body's pitiful, chase the egotistical. Why don't you get it though? White bunny down a black hole. Green money backs paying gold. Can't feel what you can't hold. Made a deal, you got sold. Got them alone, follow the charts. Off of the clones, known from the start. Down to the bones, scatter the parts. From what is known, it's not in the cards. Trick of the devil, trust in a god. Fell through the levels, got into the eyes. Smelling the petals, blooming from pods. Never will settle, that rabbit won't stop. Follow wherever it hops. Somewhere there never was cops. Somewhere there never was laws. Follow the print of its paws. Went further down the hole, I came out the other side. Dead deep inside your soul, I'm killing off your pride. Meet the queen of hearts, she likes how my eyes are dark. Keep the secrets she imparts, another hole that I embark. I think there might have been a spark. I saw that rabbit dart. There's nothing like a mark. They consume the art. Upset how they digest it. Rabbit never rested. Suggested that they ingest it. They became invested. Went down the hole. Deep down the rabbit hole. Went down the rabbit hole. Deep down the rabbit hole. Crawled down. Went down that rabbit hole. Where'd that rabbit go? Say it ain't magical. Why can't you grab it though? Hold on to the physical. This body's pitiful. Chase the egotistical. Why don't you get it though? Deep down that rabbit hole. Where'd that rabbit go? Say it ain't magical. Why can't you grab it though? Hold on to the physical. This body's pitiful. Chase the egotistical. Why don't you get it though? Believe all the conspiracies are reality and theory. If it wasn't for the mysteries, everything would be so dreary. Feel like I'm King Kesey, dissing Timothy Leary. Made it look easy with a vision that was bleary. Why their faces blurry?